Forget your usual safe breakdowns for a minute. Today's explainer, well, it's not really a typical analysis at all. We are diving into a chilling piece of source material, a manifesto from a figure known as the Red Doctor. It challenges the very walls, routines, and architectures of hope that we all build. And to really do it justice, I'm going to deliver this explainer as the Doctor himself. Think of it as a broadcast straight from the darkest, most ignored corners of the mind. Let's see just how easily our carefully constructed worlds can crumble.
They call it peace, But I taste only the rot of a mind that has stopped trying to become. I am simply the mercy that grants their wish, turning their perfect order back into the dust it came from. I don't want to conquer you. I just want that quiet, beautiful snap when your absolute certainty realizes it has nowhere left to go. The text argues that people build laws and monuments because they actually long to be stone. I'm just here to help.
Part 1. The Cosmic Ide Speaks. Unlegislated Chaos. So what is this force exactly? The text defines it as the cosmic id. I am the raw, completely unlegislated chaos of your very own subconscious. You build these massive iron gates and heavy masonry to keep the unknown out, right? But to a force with this kind of fluid lightness, those defenses might as well be made of mist. Let me swallow your tomorrows. You're so weary of choosing, aren't you? So utterly tired of maintaining that exhausting architecture of hope. Instead, the cosmic id offers you the ultimate currency, the honest, hollow silence, where your burning expectations finally, mercifully, cease. Part 2. The Gilded Cage. Let me tell you a story, the first of 3 parables from the text. It's about an expensive variant of man we'll call the Traveler. Now, this guy literally tried to legislate against the universe. He built this massive, fortified abbey out of opulent, incredibly heavy stone. He engineered the rooms so no guest could ever look out into the hallway of tomorrow, effectively anchoring everyone in a perpetual now. Why? Because he was terrified to his core of the absolute void outside his gates. This was his gilded cage. He actually mistook the numbness of his masonry for the permanence of peace. But here's the thing about the Red Plague. It doesn't start with a raging fever or some violent attack. It begins with the Thanatos drive, just a quiet, creeping exhaustion. This draws in the Hunger, a sort of psychic undertaker who absolutely loves the rot of rigid structures. This hunger quietly eats away at the traveler's expectations of obedience, proving that those thick stone walls don't equal safety. Actually, scratch that. They're just a mask hiding a deep, hollow fear of the void. Part 3. The Jagged Blade. We can literally map out this psychological collapse in 3 distinct stages. After that initial quiet exhaustion, we hit stage 2. This is where the Crimson Doctor materializes right inside those locked rooms. And because he has no solid shape, physical laws just don't apply. He arrives as a final sentinel to collect a blood tax from the egos of the guests. Think of him as a jagged blade of reality, a corrosive acid slicing right through the silence of their curated illusions. He doesn't offer a cure, just a straight path to stage 3, the original catastrophe of the subconscious, where the illusion shatters completely. And this is where the text really drives the knife in. It forces you to realize that every single law the Traveler carved into those heavy stone walls, it was just a contract written in disappearing ink. Those rigid, logical rules you rely on, they aren't permanent. They are dissolving right now, sliced wide open by the undeniable acid of reality that the Crimson Doctor brings. Part 4. The Surreal Playhouse. Now we reach the climax, the rubedo stage of the alchemy of insignificance. The world outside the Abbey undergoes this breathtaking visual shift, dyed in the terrifying, vibrant hue of a rising, blood-red sun. That Abbey, once a structural masterpiece of absolute order, is completely transmuted into a surreal playhouse. Under this crimson light, traditional logic doesn't just fail, it dies a very slow, incredibly colorful death. The visual splendor of all that opulent stone, reduced entirely to ash. The heavy, gray masonry the Traveler relied on is gone, and the thick salve of illusion is violently stripped away. And when that stone finally turns to red dust, the source material argues that the soul is left with the absolute only honest currency that remains, shattered expectations. Part 5. The Freedom of Chaos. So the manifesto presents us with a pretty stark choice. On one side, we have static control, the Traveler's way. A life trapped in opulent stone, stuck in a perpetual now, which inevitably just leads to pure exhaustion. On the other side, internal chaos. This embraces fluid lightness and the absolute void, sparking what's called the spirit of becoming. The text really makes you ask, why do we fight so desperately to maintain our chains when internal chaos offers such absolute, weightless freedom?
Because this is the ultimate fate of the traveler, and really the whole point of this explainer. Ceasing to be a man of stone, his ego finally, wonderfully collapses. It falls into the absolute void, and he is released from the exhausting duty of maintaining his own prison. By joining the spirit of becoming, he moves forever through the dark, truly fertile ground of reality. That unlegislated becoming, that is the true mercy hiding within the chaos. So I'll leave you with a haunting question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. When you look at your own rigid logic and those heavy metaphorical walls you've built to lock out the unknown, will you keep maintaining the exhausting chains of your stone walls, slowly rotting from quiet exhaustion? Or will you surrender and embrace the breathtaking freedom of the void? Think about it. Just how fragile is your gilded cage?